No, but I get the feeling I'm about to.
Turn right. In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
Oh, you're the driver everyone talks about. Haley's asked for pictures of all the cars at the festival. It's called Horizon Promo, and obviously, we want action shots, fast ones.
I can do fast. Let's go.
For Horizon Promo, you just need to take a picture of your car, but it'll look better with a little drama. Let's head into the storm and find the perfect location. Okay, there's the turnoff. Some people believe mysterious things happen in storms like these. There's even a story of an explorer who got lost in a storm and only found her way out when she found a huge statue near the coast. It's just a legend, of course, but want to see if we can find it?
I'll take any excuse to drive this car through the heart of a storm.
Uy, this is increíble. The photos look great. But there aren't supposed to be any statues like that near here.
Perhaps it was uncovered by the storm.
Yeah, that must be it. Okay, I'll get these photos to Haley. We should go treasure hunting again soon, eh? I'll call you.
Hey, Night Owl. Caught an editorial today. Horizon Hall of Fame shoe-in. I suspect Jamin wrote it, but he makes some good arguments. How would the shoe-in feel about another Horizon adventure?
Thanks for the subtle hint, Haley.
Hey, amigo. I found something. Drop by when you can.
Okay, I'll be right there.
In 400 yards, turn sharp right. In 400 yards, turn left. In 400 yards, turn right. In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Hola, hola! Remember the old book I told you about? I went and dug it out of a box at my padre's place. I want to try and find something.
And you need a driver.
And I need a driver. Yeah, bien. Head for Las Barrancas. I'll explain on the way.
So, what are we looking for?
My favorite book is called El Camino de Sidney Wolverstone, about an explorer who traveled Mexico 200 years ago. In her book, she describes these Atlantis she found, giant statues, but there aren't supposed to be any of those near here.
Giant statues? From an old book?
That aren't supposed to exist, yes! I've been piecing together clues from the book. Do you think you can get this car right into the river at the bottom of the Copper Canyon?
You really don't know me very well.
Let's get pictures here. In the book, Lady Sydney's expedition makes camp here, but that's just a fun story. Yeah, the book talks about setting up camp on an island and finding the statue in the afternoon light. It would have been about this time of day. That is increíble. How has no one ever found this before? Hola, amigo. According to the book, there is a statue at El Arco de Cabo San Lucas. Wolverstone said she found it at sunset, but I thought we could try an experiment. I've worked out where the book says the statue should be. We can set out and reach the area around mid-morning and see what we can find. Or the other option is we get to El Arco just as the sun sets. If you believe the story, that's when we'll find the statue. From here, we will reach El Arco just as the sun sets, if you believe the story. In
400 yards, turn left. Turn left. In 400 yards, turn right. In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left.
arrived at your destination.
All right, let's get going. The sun's setting, but we have enough time to get there along the beach. I'm excited. Do you think we'll find it?
To be honest, I don't know. But I'm getting the sense that there's more to Mexico than meets the eye.
Did you know Sydney Wolverstone was also a, ay, ¿cómo se dice? What's the word? A botanista? A botanist, a natural historian, and a pretty decent artista. You want to talk about las maravillas de Mexico? Just read about her life. The book describes several sites where Sydney Wolverstone found statues. She believed they weren't Aztec though, which is interesting because they look Toltec to me, but even that isn't really clear. We know so little about the Toltecs, about the whole pre-conquest era, in fact. There are so many undiscovered sites, so much forgotten history in Mexico, so many things we don't know about the people who've lived here for thousands of years. There, down onto the beach. The book says, we found the statue by the Ark looking out across the Pacific in the warm light of the setting sun. There it is! Right in the sun where the book said. Grab a picture of it. Interesting. The design doesn't seem entirely Aztec, but it does remind me of Tlaloc, the rain god. This is amazing. I'll work out where the next one should be and give you a call.
Where does the trail lead from here?
South and inland. I'm sure of it. I'll be in touch.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Hey, amigo! I've been reading the diary over and over. I think Lady Sydney's expedition came inland, but... no sé. It's hard to find the evidence.
All these adventures look amazing. Glad I don't have to pick one.
In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left. Turn around when it is safe to do so. In 100 yards, turn right.
Okay, we'll check out El Arco de Cabo San Lucas and see if it matches the book. Let's get there fast.
You've read my mind.
There, down onto the beach. The book says, we found the statue by the ark looking out across the Pacific in the warm light of the setting sun. I don't see it. Huh. Well, let's get some lunch and try back later in the day. Oh, I told you that was the best place to eat around here. Was I wrong? Aye. Okay, we need to get going. Can you get us to the beach before the sun sets?
You mean outrun the sun? Yep, I think I can do that. Even with the extra helping of tres leches.
There it is! Right in the sun where the book said. Grab a picture of it.
Right, that is freaking me out. It's right there. How did we miss it?
The shadows were really deep just here earlier. Maybe we just didn't see it? But now I really want to see if we can find any more of these mysterious statues. Hola, amigo! I've been reading the diary over and over. I think Lady Sydney's expedition came inland, but... no sé, it's hard to find the evidence.
In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
Ok, mira, escucha. Listen to this. El pueblo de Mulegé, un oasis tranquilo. If she made it to Mulegé, the expedition must have traveled upriver. I still can't believe this. I used to take the book to mi escuela and my teachers told me Lady Wolverstone's adventures were as fictional as Pedro Páramo or Sherlock Holmes.
So she never got any credit.
Never asked for any. She said she was writing stories for her grandchildren. But if they're true, her story deserves to be told. And you and I can prove it. Vamos, to Mulegé. Let's go. We can start in the center of town and move outwards. in the trees. How did I never see this before?
I've raced this road 100 times and never seen it either.
Lady Sydney writes that a local bruja, a wise woman, said the statues were only visible on certain days in the rain because they are statues of Tlaloc.
I still think it's the trees hiding it. But call me when you work out the next location, okay?
I still can't believe this. I used to take the book to mi escuela and my teachers told me Lady Wolverstone's adventures were as fictional as Pedro Páramo or Sherlock Holmes.
So she never got any credit.
Never asked for any. She said she was writing stories for her grandchildren. But if they're true, her story deserves to be told. And you and I can prove it. Vamos, Tumulehe, let's go. We can start in the center of town and move outwards. Wow, there it is, just there in the trees. How did I never see this before?
I've raced this road 100 times.
Lady Sydney writes that a local bruja, a wise woman, said the statues were only visible on certain days in the rain because they are statues of Tlaloc.
I still think it's the trees hiding it. But call me when you work out the next location, okay?
Hey, amigo! Haley called to ask about the promo shots, but when I told her about the diary, she said they could wait. Come pick me up. We need to go to Agua Azul.
I'll be right over.
400 yards. Turn left. Turn left. yards. Turn left. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
Ready to head for Agua Azul? Eso bien. We might get a little wet.
I'll keep the windows closed.
Okay, a ver. Okay, let me translate this part. The cool waters of Agua Azul quenched our thirst and inspired our hearts. In the heart of the blue water is where we found them.
Then, are we looking for more than one statue, maybe? And in the heart of the blue water? What does that mean, I wonder?
No, but so the question is, why was the diary of Lady Sydney Wolverstone published as fiction? She was really here. She really had aventuras all over Mexico.
Maybe she didn't want to be famous.
Or maybe she didn't think anybody would believe her. Muy bien. Keep heading west. Muy bien, ahí estás. We'll turn off the road near the waterfalls. Oh, the pictures are good. And you know, having pictures means no one can doubt us if we can find the statues again. Oy, oy, oy. This is big. I have our next lead. Meet me as soon as you can.
safe to do so. Recalculating route. In 200 yards, turn sharp left. In 200 yards, turn left.
I found more of Lady Sydney's papers, original drafts of El Camino. She made pencil sketches of formations that I recognize in the Valle de las Ranas, and she sketched one of the statues.
Lead the way.
Okay, so, they have fantastic creatures carved in rock, and she found the statue early one morning, and get this, it was after a rainstorm.
And this is another statue of Tlaloc. That is interesting. Let's see if we can find it.
El Valle is east of Guanajuato. Mira, let's go. Valle de las Ranas means Valley of the Frogs, though I always thought the stones looked more like fantastical creatures. And Lady Sydney did too. She got sketches in her book. Mira, imagínatelo, imagine it. Explorers like Lady Sydney came all this way with nothing but ganas y un gran amor for the wilds of Mexico.
She sounds like someone I know.
¿Quién? ¿Yo? I shoot cars for the festival. You do all the work. And my ride is a lot faster than her wagons, no?
We have slightly more than 1 horsepower.
Bueno, I suppose reading El Diario is one of the reasons I became una fotógrafa. I wanted to capture the same belleza she did. Today, the Valle de las Ranas is one of the most visited natural wonders in Mexico. Lady Sydney definitely knew a marvel when she saw one.
But the guidebooks don't say anything about a Tlaloc statue here.
I have it! No, perdón, no hay tiempo para explicar. Just come and meet me.
In 400 yards, turn right. Turn right. In 400 yards, turn left. You have arrived at your destination.